Alright, y'all, without further ado, we have another Kevin Samuels video for you guys today. Go ahead and leave it a like, comment, subscribe, and share for more. Let's get into it,
Have
y'all.
children with if they already have children?
Right, because if they already have children, I'm kind of committed to.
Okay, listen. Look at their children.
Okay.
That's the surest indicator. If they already have children and you want to know whether or not they're a good candidate of which to have children by, right? Look at the work. Look at the kids. If he has quote unquote good kids, especially if he has custody of them, then that means he's doing a good job. Does that not make sense?
It does.
So the question is, I thought your question was more or less along the lines of you're not wanting to date guys with kids.
I don't mind. I would like to date someone who doesn't have children.
Well, unfortunately, are you actively or seriously dating anyone right now?
No.
Do you want to get married?
Yes.
Do you want to have children?
Yes.
Unfortunately, you waited so long.
What?
You should have been married 10 years ago. Have you ever been in a serious relationship or been proposed to? Uh-oh.
Serious relationship.
He said, you cleared your throat on that one. Well, what happened? How long? What happened?
I don't mind.
Nobody can see you.
Wasn't ambitious enough for me.
Huh?
Wasn't ambitious enough for me.
He wasn't ambitious enough for you. Okay. And how long were you guys together?
About 8 years.
Did you say 8 years?
I was very young.
Girl, you 32. What was you, 5? Come on, sis. Come on, sis. You say you were with a dude for 8 years, and the reason you didn't marry him is because he wasn't ambitious enough. Then you're gonna follow it up and say you was young. Boo, come on.
After that, I became ambitious, focused on my goals,
Okay.
and stopped dating.
Okay. All right. So,
That's
so,
how we led to here.
so, when you say ambitious, what does that mean?
Just wanting more out of life, focusing on a better lifestyle.
Does that mean more money?
Comfortability.
Comfortable. Does that mean more money?
Yes.
All right. Does this say you just wanted more money? Stop prettying it up. So, did you go to college?
I didn't finish.
All right. So, so what do you do for a living? If he wasn't ambitious enough for you,
I prefer not to disclose that. I work.
well, now you call and ask me the question. So here's the thing. Okay,
I
I'll just go
prefer
down.
not to disclose that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's where I go down. See, I find it interesting that women like that. Unfortunately, there's so many sisters like you that are getting in this position. You're with somebody for 8 years, that all of a sudden he wasn't good enough because a light came, and it almost seems like the way you guys tell the story. All of a sudden, some light came on, and then he wasn't ambitious enough. All right, but see, what I need to hear after that is you're like the VP of marketing. That's what I need to hear. That I was with somebody for 8 years, and we were both just middle income people. You know, both high school graduates. No one went to college. We both right there in the middle. Then all of a sudden, I graduated or something. Then I just went from here to there, and he wasn't ambitious enough. But what I tend to find is most women are still kind of right where they were. They're just looking for a man with more money later in life.
I can say that
You start
that
break.
is not my situation. I actually am further than I was.
Well, here's the thing.
I can
Okay.
say that that is not my situation. I am actually further than I was.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Whatever your situation is, I don't know what the big deal is, but here's the net of it. 32 years old. There's a looks component. There's especially if you want to be a. Do you want to work after you have children?
I don't mind working part time. I would like to work for my husband's company.
Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills?
No.
Right. So you don't want to have to work. How many children do you want? Would you like to have?
Right.
Huh? How many children?
2 to 3.
2 to 3. 2 to 3 children. So again, we're talking about these men in the $300,000 plus range. That's those men, $300,000 plus range, to have a wife that doesn't work and have 3 children. That's what percentage of men do you think make $300,000, well, $325,000 or more? Out of 100% of men, what percentage of men do you think fits that?
10%.
Say again? I couldn't hear you.
10%, 20%.
10% or 20%? So 10 to 20% of men make $300,000 or more. Oh, damn wrong. No, ma'am. Those men are in the top 1% of men. 99 out of 100 men don't make that amount of money.
Okay.
This is kind of part of the issue, that a lot of women want something that's unrealistic for them. Most men don't make that. So if there were 100 black 20% of men make $300,000 or more, hey, in what life can an average woman ever expect to get a man who's in the top 1%? Most men don't make $100,000. Wait till we get on later on this week talking about a lot of black women and your crazy fixation on a man's height. So, ma'am, you asked me not to show your picture. Okay, but I gotta show something. Gotta show something. Black man, one would make that amount of money. And why would that one pick a woman who's and the guys who make that amount of money, if they're already making it, they're going to pick the youngest, hottest woman they can get. They don't pick women in their 30s. And if they did pick a woman in her 30s, he's going to be in his late 40s or 50s. And she's still got to be smoking hot. The man who makes that kind of money is likely not.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm not a mud duck.
I'm not a mud duck.
and I'm not looking for an extreme amount of income. I'm just looking
Whoa.
to have a
What do you mean when you say you're not looking for an extreme?
relationship
You say you're not
with
looking for an extreme
a
amount of
nice
income.
man.
You said you're not looking for extreme amount of income. You said you want to get married and you
I
love.
said I was looking for a comfortable relationship.
Okay.
You put the number of 300,000. I didn't. I
Well,
just said comfortable.
okay. I put the number there because that's how much it cost. I didn't just pull it out of my butt. I run the numbers. I pulled the numbers,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and what I'm trying to tell you, ma'am, is if you think 10 to 20% of men earn $300,000, no offense, but my grasp of the number is probably more in tune with the reality. And if you say you want a comfortable life, cool. Money to not be able to work and have 3 kids when it takes about $200,000 per child from 0 to 18. You can't do it on $80,000 a year and not have a wife that's not working.
Mm-hmm.
And if you did, you'd be living in a rental home. So when you say you're not looking for an extreme, no, you didn't put you haven't put pen to paper and know what it is you're really saying. That's cool, but you are asking for an extreme amount of money. I just filled in the other parts. You're 32. I made that video and got a bunch of pushback when women who are 4s, 5s, and 6s. The ability of the 30-plus-year-old to deflect. I'm not a mud duck. I'm not asking for an extreme amount of money. You made me look crazy. You made me look delusional. You did all this to me. All right. Find high earning men. They find them when they're in their college years or at the beginning. So when a guy's already up there, he's looking at 8s, 9s, and 10s. What would you actually, if you had to rank yourself, since you said you're not a mud duck, okay. Wait for it, my son. I did this. I'm a bad mother sucker. See, if I could do it, I should be able to undo it. Huh. And you're not. Where would you rank yourself?
If I had to rank myself, I would say overall.
You can't use 7.
Because you don't like 7.
Yeah.
Right.
What would you give it?
Oh, did you hear me? I said I would give him an 8 because you don't.
An 8, ladies and gentlemen, an 8. I'm not a mud duck. High school graduate. Philly's finest. Just super bad. She's an 8. People ask, why do you use Pam Grier? And these women from the back in the days, we need updated. No, we don't need updated nothing. We need references that we had because back in the day, you had to be natural. You could not be made up. We're going to go from this is an 8, ladies and gentlemen. When has Celie ever been an 8? When they were casting for Celie, they did not say, I need an 8. If you put my name in highlights, When they were casting for Miss Seeley, they said Suge Avery needs to look like this, and Seeley needs to look like that. They did not say that Miss Seeley need to look like an 8. You know, Suge Avery, you know, the actress that played Suge Avery, they casted her for very specific reason. It's not because the woman was not attractive. I mean, right? Am I missing something? What did I miss? Yeah, but when every average woman can think just because she's average and decides to go to do a little work on her body, she can all of a sudden decide, oh, I just want a high value black man. I want a high value black man. Oh yes. No. Not just the average black man, because I'm an average looking woman. I want a high value black man. A 9. What did she say? I got rid of my dude, because he wasn't ambitious enough. Cool. Wasn't ambitious enough. Got no problems with it. Not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem. Now, see, why am I making these points? Because for the women this applies, you have no problem running down men. She had no problem talking about what he wasn't. Like, she looked like this. Suge Seeley. Suge Seeley. See Suge run. See Suge. Suge. Suge was baby mama too, by the way. But Suge had, oh, I'm sorry. Suge. An 8. What looks, which two things match? Which one thing does not match? Which matches and what doesn't match? Huh? What matches, people? Does this look more like, do these look more like that? Or do any one of these look more like Miss Seeley? Miss Seeley, Miss Sister, you've been out of your mind. Sister, you're two of a kind. No, you're not. Sister, I'm keeping my one eye on you. I bet you didn't know that you're crazy. Thinking you're so fine. You're sick in the head. Thinking you a dime, sister. Your old ass is running out of time. Fuck out of here. You an 8. You an 8. You ate something that made your ass crazy. Is give yourself an 8. Okay. So that means as an 8.
I'd rather go higher than lower.
Okay. So that means you're 5'4", dress size 4, 120 pounds, tight fit. First off, just understand, over 30, even if you were a 10, when you cross 30, you automatically drop 1 point. That means you're a 9.
Okay. Okay.
And are you a tall woman or are you a shorter woman?
5'5".
5'5". And dress size?
A 6.
Dress size 6. And are you in the gym like 5 days a week?
Yes, 6.
Okay, cool. Then This is where many of these women who 49ers start to lose it. Because now you're a dress size 6. But see, the other question was, if I'd have wanted to, I'd have said, ma'am, have you always been a dress size 6? And the answer would have been, hell to the no, no. Hell no, you ain't always been no dress size 6. You was a 14, 16, 15, 16. Oops. But I can see if you drop 10 dress sizes and you look at a lot of other women, how you can think, oh, I'm a sugar honey iced tea now. Well, that's only if you're looking at big girls. When you look at women who've always been dress size 6 or 4, you got no smoke for them. See, it's no different. Well, it is. See, it is different. It's different than when a man goes from being a little short, funny looking, to all of a sudden being paid, because men are judged on their resources. You can drop 10 dress sizes. That just means you're back to a healthy weight. That does not mean you're Miss Olympia, Miss America. Congratulations. You won't get diabetes, heart disease, arteriosclerosis, or fat fingers or ankles. But that does not make you a beauty queen. Don't make you a dime. It don't mean you can get a high value rich man to set your 30-plus-year-old self down. I don't know why so many of you women think that you don't have to work like every other woman in this country. And if you don't want to work, cool. But you're going to have to live on what your husband makes, and you cannot try to kill a man because he's not making what you feel like a man should make. Because you think you look a certain kind of way, which you don't. You know? That would mean likely your body is around an 8. I can't see. But I used the show Good Times, Thelma Hopkins. As a 7. And I don't use 7s. Pam Grier, that's an 8. So to be an 8, you got to be like in Pam Grier's area.
I don't have the boots.
Huh? So you give.
I said that's extreme. I don't have the boots.
Well, are you watching me or you're watching YouTube? Are you watching me or you watching YouTube?
Everything on Zoom.
Well, I mean, you don't have the you don't have to have the boobs. I mean, see,
yeah, very big boobs.
But she was also classically beautiful. I mean, and it's not uncommon for men to. No, Jessica, listen to the men. Don't listen to the women. The women can say things to soothe your feelings. The men are the ones that will ask you to be their wives. Stop listening to women. Start listening to the men. Men are the end consumer of the product, which is women. At 24 years old, it is the age in which many of your non-black colleagues, counterparts, are starting to marry. They're marrying from 21 through 24. They're having their first kid by 25. So yes, start to feel nervous. That's good, sis. Good. You need to put some pressure on it. That's right. You need to remember that your SMV is how you're ranked in this world. See, what these ladies are trying to tell you is don't worry about it, sis. But they're not a man, and they ain't got no man for you. Yes, feel that pressure. Just like men feel pressure to succeed, feel pressure to provide, to be out there for a woman. Yes, I don't take that pressure off of us. So ladies, stop trying to help young Jessica. Jessica, you're in the right place around high value men. Blake Henry, Blue Henry, Hit Squad. These are the kind of men you want to be around. And somebody's asked, how many men in this chat room making $300,000? The man on this channel does. Men on these channels do. And even if they ain't making $300,000, they're in the top. They are on their way. Guys I market to aren't in the $50,000 range. So knock it off. Trying to say that these guys over here, just because they're not $350,000 or more, that what they say don't mean anything. No, it means a whole hell of a lot. Because at the end of the day, high value men tend to flock to these spaces. Jessica, good for you. Get in the gym tomorrow. Here's what it gets right down to. At 32, if you think most guys make that amount of money, you're off base. And it requires a lot of money to have a stay-at-home wife, because a man has to. The average middle-class American makes $50,000 a year. Okay. So let's just say you and your husband were average. You're making 50, he's making 50, right? In order for you to stay at home, you'd either have to live below your means by half, or your husband would have to increase to $100,000, right? That's just the math for two people. Daycare for an infant, $200 a week. I mean, kids are expensive, and to have 1, 2, 3 and not have to work, that man is going to have to make high, mid 6 figures or more. And that's in Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Atlanta. Those kind of guys exist, but they are 1 out of 100. And that's not adjusting for looks, height, anything, even marital status. They're exceedingly rare. So if you want to have a comfortable life, you're going to either have to work, have fewer kids, or really, really lower your standard of living, if that's what it is. And that's what I don't think a lot of women kind of take into consideration. And why are we here? Because you said you had an 8-year relationship, and it's over because the guy wasn't ambitious enough. So that means he wasn't making enough money. All right. That means.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
So what if I'm willing to work with an individual, and actually I like to play the long-term game.
Uh-huh.
So it's more so about putting work to lead to that lifestyle. It doesn't have to be today.
You're kind of breaking up. So slow. What I need you. Hold on. I need you to repeat that. You were breaking up, and because on your headphones. Say it again. You're willing to work with somebody. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I said I was willing to work with someone. I'm not looking to go into a $300,000 a year. I would like to, but I'm being realistic and not looking to walk into a $300,000 a year relationship with a man, given my age and other things, and mostly my age. But if I'm more interested in the long-term game, if we lead to that or we get to that, we live a comfortable life, we actually grow and build, we can get to that lifestyle.
Somebody came in talking about take it easy on her. It's okay to dream. No, it's not okay. See, that's the problem. So many have been told that it's okay to dream. That's why you got so many black men walking around at 40 years old, still acting like a 25-year-old. Because you still dreaming about that goddamn rap career, or making it big on selling edibles or whatever the hell, or whatever. You always got some hustle. While you dreaming, other people are working. Don't wake me, I'm dreaming. No, you need to wake up from the dream. No, it's not all right to dream. We need to stop that bull crap. Dreaming is for kids. Well, that means you're going to have to work. 32 years old. First off, let me just say.
To be honest with you, I guess because of the ambition.
I'm just being honest with you, man. Most 32-year-old women aren't going to not work. You're going to work. Mm-hmm. You can say whatever you want. Most 32-year-old women are going to have to work. You did not get married early when you were young, fertile, and at your highest. You're past the wall. That's just the reality. You can say whatever you want. You can have your standards. You can think what you want to about you, but you're average. You're average looking, and that's not an insult. You're average looking. You're not Pam Grier, and you're over 30.
Of course not. Right.
The more likely reality is you. I don't know how much money you make, but you didn't go to college. I don't know how much money you make, but the more likely reality is, I've said a woman can pretty much expect to get a man $10,000 times her for every point on the look scale. If you're a 6, you can expect a man making about $60,000 a year in Dallas, Houston, Austin. That means you'll be working. Most women have to work.
The thing is, I don't mind working as long as it's not physical work.
But it's still, okay. I asked, okay, that's cool. But it's still going to be 40 hours a week. Ain't going to be no part-time nothing.
It has to be 40.
Because you're going to need 2 incomes. You're going to have, okay, ma'am, you're going to have. So many of these women don't want to work. And ladies, if you don't want to work, that means you need to be ready to be a housewife early on. I mean, think about what you're saying. I see everybody else having to get up and go to work, but I don't want to work. So I'm going to just marry a man, and because I come standard with the vajayjay, I should have to not work for the rest of my life. And then he should just have to go. This is so unrealistic. I don't mind that you don't want to work if you actually were a wife and wife ready and would be willing to go ahead and marry and submit to the man who is going to have to pay all the bills. At your age, why making that much money marry a 32-year-old woman who's got 3 years before you start having high-risk pregnancy? You still got to meet him, go down the aisle. If you met him today, as soon as you be married is 6 months from now. And unless you got pregnant on the wedding night, you want at least a little time, 3 to 6 months before a baby came out. You'd be 33 and a half. And if you had a child every year, the first one, the second one, the third one will be high risk. Second intermission, we got to get these likes up to over 1,200. Over 1,000. Come on, man. Let's get these likes up. Yazzie, you in here again? Yazzie, I swear to God, the dude that you are dating, he must work 18 hours a day. Because you consistently in here complaining. Let's get the likes up, folks. Hit the like button. We've only moved 3. I'm going to go ahead and start it back up. But if we don't get to over 1,000, we're going to shut her down. See, what you're showing, ma'am, is a lot of women like you have this idealistic attitude, but you don't put hardcore numbers or reality to it. 1, your age is a hindrance for that. 2, and let guys who make that kind of money, let's just say 6 figures. I mean, realistically, do you want your husband to be making $100,000 or more? Listen, ladies, what she says. Day one. Listen what she says, ladies. Right. All right, ma'am. And that's 10% of the men.
Right.
Have you ever dated a man making that kind of money?
However,
Have you ever dated a man making that kind of money?
yes.
Okay. Let me back it up. Have you ever seriously had a serious relationship with a man making that kind of money?
No.
Huh?
No.
Okay. So date, that just mean y'all went out?
Dated for several months.
Okay. And why did it end? She dating high value $100,000, $200,000 a year men.
Picky?
She said that she's dated high value men making $100,000 more. I said seriously, like towards marriage. No. And then I asked her why didn't it work out. This woman actually parted her lips to say she ended it because she's too picky. Let's just let the rest of it go.
I used to have the perfect dynamic ideal.
Why are you so picky?
Oh.
What, I mean, seriously, what's so special about you to be
lazy.
what's so special about you to make you so picky? Are you that fine? Are you that, I mean, to be that picky? I mean,
I'm not lazy.
so are you that fine? And she said, I'm not lazy. A woman that thinks she's really an 8 would have said, yeah, I'm that fine. But she said, I'm not lazy. And I'm not that picky. I used to be that picky, but I'm not that picky anymore. Bish, you still want a man making 10% of what most men make, 6 figures or more. But she's not picky. I don't need a man in the 1%. I'll take a man who's 100,000. Oh. Fours who think they should have 9s. What? Neither is a mule. So what, ma'am? You work. Do you have an advanced degree? I mean, you didn't go to college. You go to the gym.
Is that all that matters? Is the degree?
What matters, ma'am? If you're average. You're average, ma'am. You're average. And that means average people get average people. And just like Rebecca Lynn Pope, the black woman who's married to a pastor who was a matchmaker for black women, said she stopped working with women like you because you were so unrealistic. You can be picky, ma'am. See, that's the thing. I can't tell you not to be picky. I can just tell you.
I said I used to be picky. I am not
well, you're still picky. Wanting a man. She says she used to be picky. Ladies, I need you to ask yourself, does this woman sound like she's still not picky? Forget the guys, and I know this is a sensitive subject, and I'm trying to keep it humorous, and because this is kind of sad. But ladies, does this 32-year-old woman sound like she's still not picky? I mean, really. I think about what men are hearing from a 32-year-old average woman. Talk about, I'm not super picky like I used to be. Wow. Making $100,000 a year at 32 years old? That's still, who is that? You dropped the B word. Did I, Sierra? What did I say, Sierra? What did I say? What did I say, Sierra? What did I say? Go ahead and type it in the chat room. Picky. You didn't even know that $200,000 or $300,000 a year was a 1% man, you thought that's 10 or 20%. That shows that you have no
So
idea.
what price range should I be focusing on?
Ma'am, what I'm trying to say to you in the nicest way possible is you didn't want to tell me how much you make or what you do. All I know is you're 32 and you graduated from high school. All I know is you. Oh, here we go with that bullshit. Everybody stop. Here comes Sweet Lady 095. Here we go. You knew it was coming. A lot of colorists in here. Wow. Ma'am, that shit don't fly over here. Don't try that in my chat room. Don't try that in my Take that over to other low vibration places where that work. The argument is what it is. You're not gonna bring that BS over here. No. Said you were with a guy for 8 years and you're not together because he wasn't ambitious enough. But you did not tell me that you are some high-end corporate exec somewhere at 32. So I don't know what ambitious means.
Corporate exec, no.
Okay. Do successful if successful men, high earning men, don't approach you for serious relationship, that should tell you something. And when I said it's not like you're some high-end corporate exec somewhere, she said, well, not corporate, high school grad now. Ma'am, you inbox me. I know how much you say you make. It's laughable for what you're talking about. I'll just put it that way.
Okay.
That should tell you something. If the men that have the means you would like do not approach you for serious relationship, what does that tell you? Hey guys, guess what? Let's everybody look at her. Where is she at? I want to go ahead and see it. Let's highlight her. Joanne Panton. Let's get it, guys. Here we have another one. Here we have another one where if you don't just kiss their butt and everything they say or do, what do you hear? What do you hear? Joanne, Kevin don't respect black women's. Kevin don't respect black women. Kevin don't respect. That's what it is. I don't respect. Let's go ahead and show it, shall we? Joanne, you make sure that you are one of the first women to call in, and please explain such an insulting statement. You make sure you.
I'm trying not to get roasted on here.
I know.
So,
I'm not going to roast you. I'm actually trying to help you.
Saying that I was the problem.
No.
I appreciate help. I really do. I'm just saying that I was the problem.
What I think the problem is with so many black women like yourself is you're too picky for what you are. That is as simple as I can put it.
Correct.
You can't be that picky when you're like a 5. You have. I need to ask a question, a serious question to the women in the chat room, to the Joy Anns of the world. I said you cannot be that picky when you are like a 5. Is that true or is that false? Well, let me back it up. I know how y'all like to do. You can be as picky as you want to. But are you going to get the outcome that you say you want? Again, talking about average people. Average men are told all the time, why you on IG modeling this and that? You need to get an average woman and go make some average life. Well, then you average looking women need to get average men and go make an average life. So again, you make sure you call in and let me know how I'm supposed to respect you by lying to you. How I'm supposed to respect you by just telling you what you want to hear and letting you call me and say whatever you want to me. No, man. To be an 8-9, to be picky. Yes, ma'am, you are. You're not a classic beauty. You're not an unattractive woman. But I don't think you could tell me that you have. Okay. Have men told you, have the high value men in your life, high school or whatever, did they tell you that you were like the pretty girl in school?
I was the shy, quiet girl.
That's not what I asked you, ma'am.
So I wasn't.
The shy, quiet girl, if she was fine, the shy, quiet girl, if she was fine, she still got attention.
In high school? No.
Well, and because you did not go to college. What region of the country do you live in? North, east, south, west?
East.
East? Okay. In the east, do you get approached by high value white men?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
You do. Do you get approached by No. This woman would have you believe that in Philadelphia, in New Jersey, New York City, Boston, that she gets approached by she get approached by Brad for a relationship. That's what she would have you believe. For serious relationship.
I don't want it, but yes.
Meaning marriage, those kind of things.
When you have to date to lead to marriage, I kind of, sabotage it before.
Okay, well, and therein lies a lot of the distortion in women. See, men who want to marry quickly. High value men will kick it with a woman who is a average looking woman, but they won't wife them. They know this. And this is what I'm trying to understand, ma'am, is you can have whatever standard you want, but if your life is not showing you that you're getting that. Okay, imagine, do you own a car?
Yeah.
You do?
I do.
Okay. All right. Imagine there's a car on the lot. And
all right, you guys, that is the end of the video. And that is another Kevin Samuels video for you guys. He is just trying to be as humble as he can, but when it comes to certain people, he's not going to tone it down. He's going to match energy, you guys. And with that being said, go ahead and leave it a like, comment, share, subscribe for more, you guys. And I'm out.